10 is a Blake Edwards sex farce from the 1970s, 1979 to be exact. It stars Dudley Moore, Julie Andrews, and Bo Derek in what is her best film. It's her best performance. And what can I say? I love this movie so much. I never really, well, I kind of understand why I got a little bit of a bad rap towards it, but I'm just surprised at how many people don't like this film. Like, yeah, the storyline is kind of weird, but a lot of good movies have weird storylines to it. And besides, the way that Blake Edwards makes this film, he does it in such a way that is so good that you can't really bash it a whole lot. Like, I've seen this movie a couple times, and I just love it every time I see it. It is so good. Now, Bo Derek hasn't done many good movies, I'll admit. Her worst film I would say, is Tarzan the Ape Man from 1981. Now, that one was truly bad. But 10, on the other hand, great film, great film. And it stars Dudley Moore in what I would consider possibly his best performance. He makes the movie so funny, and yeah, one bit of criticism that I've seen with this is that the movie isn't really a whole lot. The movie doesn't have a whole lot of hilarity to it. I really disagree with that. The movie, it's a part drama and part comedy. So there's some serious portions of it. Like, what's the big deal? And I know that Blake Edwards is also very well known for doing the Pink Panther films, which were gut busting. But 10 is just a little bit different. It's a midlife crisis movie. So, what's the big deal with it? So the movie is about Dudley Moore, who is a middle-aged Hollywood Oscar-winning composer. And one day he's driving home and he sees the most beautiful woman in the world, who's played by Bo Derek. She's getting married, and so George, his character's name is George. If I haven't said that already, he's really fixated on her because of her beauty. Even though he doesn't know anything about her, he just she's like a tractor beam. He's just sucked right into her, and it's just wild the way that all happens. He's married to Julie Andrews, who was married to Blake Edwards in real life. So of course it would make sense for Julie Andrews to partake in this film. She's always good in what she does, and this is no exception. She's really good in this. So yeah, George can't get the image of this beautiful young lady out of his mind. So he does all he can to track her down. He follows her to Mexico, where she's going to be staying on her honeymoon, and it's there where he tries to figure out, why, like, is it just the physical beauty that he's attracted towards, or can they actually befriend each other? Is there actually going to be anything beneath the surface of all that? Well, you're just going to have to wait and see. So quite a bit of the film is about George pursuing. It's about George pursuing this girl, Jenny, who's Bo Derek, if I haven't mentioned that already. And the way that it's done, it's actually quite compelling. Even though she's in her 20s and George is like in his 40s, the way that it's done is actually quite impressive. like him pursuing her. We know that it's that nothing will likely end up happening between them. But it's a midlife crisis film, and frankly, this movie reminded me of American Beauty from 20 years later with Kevin Spacey. In this one, middle-aged man having a midlife crisis gets attracted towards a beautiful young woman. And in American Beauty, Kevin Spacey, same thing, midlife crisis man pursuing his daughter's best friend in high school. Similar kind of thing. The only difference is in this one, there's they're pursuing. It happens. It happens a lot longer. And as I said, the way that it happens in this is quite. It's quite thrilling, actually, the way that it all happens. Because we do want. Because the viewers also want to get to know who is Jenny. Why is George so compelled to see her? And George doesn't even know himself. I mean, he knows that she's probably the best looking thing in the world. And he sees a psychiatrist and he says, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is she? She's an 11. And that's how we get the title of the film, 10. So, yeah, George would like to know if it's more than just something superficial. And I really like that. This movie is also very well known for this one scene of Bo Derek running on the beach in her swimsuit with her hair in braids and cornrows. It's so iconic. It is a very legendary scene. It's just a George having it's just him daydreaming about what could possibly happen. But yeah, it's just a very legendary scene. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. The movie is really it is hilarious the way that everything goes down, and Dudley Moore was the perfect man to do this. I have seen Arthur, which is what Dudley Moore is best known for. Didn't really care for it, but I love 10. 10 was a truly great flick. It's got so much to it. It's got the hilarity, it's got the romantic comedy, it's got just comedy, it's got just romance, it's got just drama to it, and everything is pinpointed in such great spots. Yeah, I totally love this film to the point where I'm gonna give it 4 stars out of